But how is everybody doing? You guys working on anything today? Just taking it easy, as you should. Just trying to get my arm around. Yeah, whenever I look at this book, I don't know. Well, obviously, I can't read in its native language. I think it's Chinese. But I like going through and checking out the forms and trying to copy some of the poses. It's kind of like the way I learn. What's up, Artfully? Good morning. How are you? Just warming up, making sure I'm ready, which I'm never ready. But the way I kind of draw, as you can see here, is very loose, and I'm trying just to find the curves and the shapes. The thing that I'm having trouble with more recently is doing these forms at a smaller scale. Like when it's big this way, you can kind of, not that you can cheat, but you can get sweeping motions a bit better. If that makes sense. You get a lot more of the rhythm of the figure. See if that light. I'm right-handed, so my light is always coming from the right-hand side of the figure. Always trying to be respectful. It helps. It's kind of like, you know how in cereal boxes it says enlarge for texture? Frazetta got this thing for the crook of where the hips are. That is just fascinating. When in doubt, if you can't draw it, hide it. Or I could have just kind of like foreshortened it over the hips. Anyway, I have been terribly tired the last couple of days. So forgive me if I am like tarrying or just slow to speak, or speech is kind of hurting. It's just kind of like, I don't know what's going on. DW, how are you? Good morning. But I'll show you what's going on. This is probably what we're going to be painting today. We can do whatever we want. Just letting you know right now. It's Freeform Friday. You know what that means. We partying, we hanging out, we're chilling. It's going to be relaxed. We'll do whatever we want. Show the whole table. It's beautiful. It's bright outside. The sun is out. It's been raining like crazy. Thunder and lightning. We had an amazing light show of lightning. Freak you out, freak your pets out. But really what I've been wanting to do is, I need to use up my paper. I've been using a lot of my Bristol sheets, my comic sheets, and I've been using a lot of these art boards, which today, I'm going to come back this afternoon around 4 o'clock. We're going to start painting this guy here. Mjorn, one of the characters of my graphic novel, The Ghost of Arlan graphic novel, my story. So it has been fixed with fixative, so no more smudgies, and it has been secured with clear gesso. You could kind of see the shine on it. So later on, either by the end of this stream this morning, I'll throw some acrylic gouache on it. An acrylic wash, which is what this is. I did not secure these pencils. I just threw acrylic over it. This is acrylic paper. Interesting though, one side is very smooth while the other has a very I don't want to say, it's a processed canvas look. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it looks manufactured is what I meant. It's very you can see the horizontal and the vertical lines of, I guess, whatever this is supposed to be, this treated, maybe it's gesso that they kind of like pressed into every sheet. Interesting to me, this is this paper here, Strathmore acrylic, 246 pounds, 400 GSMs or GM, they change. But it's interesting to draw on, very comfortable. That's what this sheet is. While this, my Spider Woman, is acrylic 300 GSM. There is some textures, but not as defined. And you guys saw, if you guys were hanging out with me yesterday, it was originally a blue pencil, regular pencil drawing, graphite pencil. I put some blue over it just to refine some of the lines. I inked it, and then when we said goodbye, I went and I threw the wash over it. So we can paint some of this today. And I'm just trying to use up this 11 by 14 Bristol board smooth. I got some of these, so who's the guy? I think I was just messing around. It's not necessarily Conan, but it has very much a Conan feel, the bowl cut. So I was just in that zone. So he's a nobody, but we could make him somebody if you guys want. I kind of like the way the color looks here, so I'm thinking of doing minimalist coloring. I would have to find a way to blend in my gouache to match that type of burnt sienna. Who knows? With this portrait, I want to work on the eyes. You love his nose? Yeah, he kind of like that bruiser. He's hurting for certain. So I'm thinking that I got a ton of materials here. Oh, can I show you guys something? I want to use up all of this stuff. Good Lord. All right. I think that's enough. For the remaining of the year, you guys gotta help me out. I want to use up all of these as much as humanly possible. I am going to be rotating the sun going to be completing one more year around the sun. And I've been itching to spend money and I don't want to. I was going to buy some more paper. And then I'm like, you don't need more paper. Finish what you got. So I am going to treat myself to something else. But you guys got to help me come up with some ideas, some figures, some characters, or some challenges so that we can do it together. If you guys have questions on certain type of paper, you're curious about how a pencil, ink, or paints work on types of paper, let's make it happen. If you guys want to see what it looks like on heavy 140 pound 300 GSM watercolor paper, we'll do that. Some of the drawings in here are ready to go. I just haven't 1218, but that's not 2018. This is more recent. And it is sprayed and ready to paint. I might have to paint that. You guys know who Beta Ray Bill is? This is some ink wash. So already you get to see some variety. You guys remember them? You guys watched the finale of X-Men 97? All right, I'm not going to say nothing. No spoilers. This is all ink wash using my Pentel brushes and my water brush somewhere around here. It's somewhere around me. Trust me. So that's what I think what we're going to do. Ooh, the Hobgoblin. Ha! I think the original version was just in Marvel Comics, Hobgoblin. Is there another one? I think he was just like a yellow color scheme version of the Green Goblin. And I think later on, when McFarlane was doing near his end, he was definitely a goblin looking dude. Yeah. All right. Me gusta, señor. I'm gonna write that down. Also, another David and Goliath study. Wha. Do. Yeah, man. I don't think I've ever drawn the Hobgoblin. All right, just taking some notes. Should it be DA or the with a T? All right. So yeah, he became a bit weird in the comics near the end run. I don't know what they've done with him lately. This was another cut of Mistletoe and Holly. Viking. Yeah, so I got a ton of paper here. This watercolor paper, it takes some time to draw on it because it's too much texture, but we can make it work. All right, so we'll do that. All right, so I have watercolor paper that we need to finish. More Bristol paper, small. This is the vellum flavor, so it's got a little bit more tooth. I love drawing on this stuff. More watercolor paper. Anything in here? This you can tell I already taped it. A Supergirl that I never painted. I feel so bad about the results of that movie. But this is the thing that upsets me about this movie. The movie's fine. The movie's absolutely fine. Quite enjoyable in certain things. I think if you remove all the baggage that people threw on it before you watch it, I think you'll be okay. This is what annoys me when the director of the movie says, I didn't read the finale, or I didn't care to read the finale of the source material that I was using. I purposely didn't want to. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. That's annoying. That's annoying. So, the failure of that movie I will never place it on the actress, because she did fine. And she makes a very interesting and dynamic Supergirl. That director should go take a walk somewhere. Like, you don't do that. Don't do that. Bilquis and what she did in her story, even though it wasn't for me, was very powerful and poignant. But come on, man, dude. What is this? More Strathmore vellum. This was using my. This pencil is Sketch and Wash, so it's water soluble, and then it dries really quickly in the shades. Maybe we could try some of that. What else we got? I did this. I wish I could remember how long ago. This is an homage. It's two, right? It's a loving tribute to Link from The Legend of Zelda. I think that's a moblin. What's a goon to a moblin? I think that's a moblin. I used reference from the Wind Waker for that character design, and I was kind of like I bit off more than I can chew in terms of kind of like getting color and bloom. Anyway, but the homage, it's a tribute to Link, but it's an homage to Jean-Claude Van Damme in Cyborg. If you know, you know. Look how thick this thing is. So I rarely used it, and I think this is watercolor paper. I didn't get a chance to write in the back before I tore the cover off of it. This is Bristol board. When I started painting and figuring out gouache, I did what everybody would do. What's the best paper to use? What's the best this to use? What are the best tools to use? What is this? What is that? What is this? What is that? Can it be used on this? Can it be used on that? This is the result. Watercolor, mixed media paper, Bristol. This is the result of those type of searches without an end game. So, and I say to you with complete confidence, use whatever the heck you want to use, guys. Guys, use whatever you want to use. An artist will figure it out. Like I said, this is acrylic paper. You guys seen me use watercolor paper. You've seen me use mixed media paper to paint with my medium of choice. So do whatever you want. That's how you experiment. That's how you find out. I know we have a habit of saying, what do you recommend? I spent all the money. I recommend you try whatever you want, but use what's best for you, right? Use what's more comfortable for you to use right now. I'd rather paint on an artboard. I love the texture. I appreciate the texture. I appreciate the durability, the hardness of the board. And they're inexpensive. Kind of, right? These sketchbooks, what did they run me? I got them in Walmart. Maybe $7. I think $8 will get me a pack of 6 of the artboards. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, do whatever you want. Try with all the different things that best suit you. You can see you can still get vibrant watercolor style on gouache. It eats up ink, so anyway. But I want to use all of these, and maybe we can ask if you guys have questions on, oh, what does it feel like to draw it on that? I want to see what it looks like, how it reacts. Hit me up. We'll make a video about it. All right. What are we doing? Let's set up the palette. I think we can use one color palette on everything. When I first used acrylic paper, I didn't like it at all. I still don't really like it completely. It's not the first thing I grab when it comes to paper. But as you can see, if you are okay with certain limitations of the materials. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. With the materials, you can do whatever you want. Drawing is drawing. If you're good at drawing, you're gonna draw on everything. You can use crayon. You can use anything you want. And when you're practicing, you can use whatever you want. But you have to be okay with the limitations of what you're gonna do. Don't talk behind your back. Oh man, it's on. It's on. Anyway, let me set up my palette. I'll show you guys how to do that. And then we'll talk some Mao. We'll talk about DW while he's getting some breakfast. We're getting a muffin. An egg muffin. Nothing fancy. Plastic. With a sponge. I'm gonna grab some more water. 1 second, y'all. All right. Now, with my caveat out the way about grabbing inexpensive or all the tools you want to try, once you start failing yourself and getting better, there's a truth into you wanting to get things that are a bit more higher in quality. Brushes, perhaps. Even though I'm still working on using dollar value brushes, is what I call it, when you can buy 20 for less than $10. You know what I'm saying? And they'll do anything you need to. I think what I need to find is a proper gouache brush that holds a point, a round brush. I have yet to find a round brush that satisfies my needs for it. What else? But other than that, and paints, right? When it comes to paints, I've used Hemis, which are pretty inexpensive, student grade. I believe they're student grade. You can get some really amazing colors and paintings with that medium, that brand. I've used Arteza, student grade. I've used Winsor Newton, which is what I've been doing lately. I have some Holbein that I have not used. And I got some castle arts that I haven't used yet that I am waiting on. And I've only seen a really huge jump in quality when it comes to Winsor Newton and the Hemis. Alright, I want to show you guys something here. If you guys get a wet palette, these are going to go by for like $6 at Amazon. Come with these wet sheets, with these weird parchment paper. This is palette paper, or hydro sheets, whatever they call it. They recommend that you put your sponge, add water, and then put the sheet on top and let it saturate. What I've experienced since I've done it is that once you put the sheet down, it'll start curling up like a cigar. Then you got to keep messing around, and you're going to risk wetting everything up. But here, I want to show you something. Put the sheet in the bottom first. Put your sponge on top. And then add your water. Just add it slowly so you won't make a mess. Kids, ask your parents if you got shaky hands. You don't need too much water, just enough to almost just about cover it. That's pretty good. Little dab, do you? All right, that's it. We're gonna wait a bit. Oh, brother, man, I am on empty. All right. This is probably the most mess. If you're going to make a mess, it's probably going to happen here. But it's water, so what's the worst that can happen? Ooh, famous last words, isn't it? You don't have to do this at your art table. You can do it at your sink. Because once this thing is wet, you're good to go. That's what she said, and that's inappropriate. All right, it's pretty saturated. I'm gonna do my best not to spill any of this. That's it. Remove any of the excess water. And that's it. Then just flip this bad boy. Done. And what's cool is that it's not like it's wet, but really the moisture is going to be from the sponge itself. You don't have to worry about the paper. OCD, I gotta get this thing right in there. Put you back. Bam. Now you can start adding your colors. Now when we was talking about colors, this is what I'm using. Young artists are gonna want to, like I did, grab a set of colors that has like 20, 24, like the first Hemi set that I have, like my Artezas, which has like 24. My metallic Artezas has like 30 something. My Castle Arts has about 24. In reality, when you're practicing, primary blue, yellow, red, black and white. You're going to need a lot of white, always, which is why I have an extra container of dedicated white. Bam. Use white a lot in gouache, like a lot. Anyway, all right. Mix these up, because the binder makes them look all gross when you squeeze them out. So we're gonna be doing, what are we doing? Some flesh tones. So this is what we're gonna do. I put my blues together. Sometimes I go, let's go this way. Primary. I use ultramarine for my shadows because it has a little bit more dynamisms. You can kind of see it there. I rarely use green because I can mix them myself. You want to mix your own green. It's not very difficult. You guys already know. Yellow, blue, green. So I don't squeeze my greens. I would prefer mid yellow. It's a more dynamic yellow. See that? It has a bit more orange. It has a little bit more pizzazz. But later, if I need a highlight for that, I'll grab the pure yellow, the primary. I don't do orange, even though that says vermilion. But let's do it anyway. Put some red in here. The red really is for me to make purple for shadows, and my favorite color in the whole so far, burnt sienna. Gunplay Freeham. How you doing? And I'm gonna put that up here. These four are my main skin tones. Adding a little blue for cooler shadows, or you can add some, you can kind of like dull the color to make it a bit more pale with blues. It's recommended more than it is to use white, but we'll see what happens. See, I'm already using up this white. And put a big old gloop right here. And then black, of course. Black goes little goes a long way, so I'm gonna put it in the bottom here, and I'll just grab what I need. I have this black. I have another tube of black, this one here, but I do not like this black anymore. Sorry, Creative Inspirations, your black is caca. Himi used to have a tube container like this of black that I cannot locate anymore. All right, let's close this up. Move my colors away. All right, and we got to figure out what are we gonna paint. You guys want to do let's do some Spider-Woman. Well, we could do a bit of all of them. Who cares? See if my, as tired as I am, if I can keep up. This. Thick. 2 C's in that. All right. It just got so warm in my room, it's not even funny. Anybody got plans for the weekend? Shout it out. If not, good, don't do nothing. White and black is there, that is there, that is there. These are my brushes of choice here. Not that, not that. My angle brush for edges. And my square brush, really. It's the one that's the one that does most of the heavy lifting, these my square brushes. The round or the detail brushes for later. But really, those are the two brushes that I kind of use the most. I use this filbert when doing, sometimes when blending, does really well. All right, I don't use you because you're my special brush, or you. I'll keep those here just in case. All right. What I wanted to do, right. I gotta go to Pinterest to see what Spider-Woman's outfit. It's pretty simple. Yellow accents. It's basically all red. Yellow gloves. Black outline on the glove. White eyes. All right. Let's see what we can do. Let's do the yellow. Let's see if that'll pop. Let's make that pop first. So I'm gonna go start doing that. You guys have any questions in the Q&A? You shout it out. Let's go. I usually use a smaller brush to mix my colors. You got art gremlins. What's cool about this, I really don't need to add much water to my brush when mixing because of the wet palette. Give me 1 second. See if I can do that. So this yellow here is gonna be my base. Make sure you guys can see everything without ruining everything. So that's going to be my base. That mid yellow is going to be the base for the yellow. The vermilion is going to be added for the shadow sides. And I'm going to add, I don't know, the colors, the light is going to be from her right side, our left. I've already established some of that with these heavy shadows. See what it looks like. I'm just gonna, I don't want it too wet. But I am gonna introduce a bit of the vermilion just from the start so that this yellow won't be the mid. This will be. And I can blend into it. That little vermilion goes a long way, you see that? And then later, when I add the pure yellow, the primary yellow, it'll look nice. All right, I'm getting tethered up here. Boom, enough talking. See what that looks like? That's not bad. So this is gonna be my mid between that shadow. Seeing how I established some of the shadows already? Let's get some form in here. And we might not even notice it because of the burnt sienna. And if I want, I'm gonna do, I don't wanna, if I add blue for the shadow, it's gonna turn out green. So I'm gonna use a little bit of burnt sienna. And some yellow and some red. Purple makes a great shadow color. see if I can make it. It might be too dark. But we making it up. Give me a second. Let me move this over. The image I'm looking at of Spider-Woman is I think is digitally colored. So it's not very realistic. I'm trying to find something that I can use as a color reference without stealing. Let me see, what's this? It doesn't look good either. All right, I'm just gonna have to wing it, and I can't really use the. Let's see what color is that. Yeah, it might work. Let me see. It would be realistic. I can't really use. It's a little dark, but I'm gonna go over it. What's cool about that is that can be a base, and I can use. I don't mind that at all, actually. So let's keep going. It already gives it a realistic tone in the shadow. It's really dry in my room. All right. I didn't mix a lot of that shadow color. It's very watery, but that's okay. All right. Apparently, some designs have this arrow going all the way down. So I'm gonna see if I can do that. If I can edit the drawing in the painting. All right, what else is yellow? What's a suit, man? There's so many variations of it. Okay, and then, oh no! That's not supposed to be the shadow there, but it's too late now. We might as well use it all over the joint. You know what? That's gonna be our shadow. Why not? I think it's because of the way I drew her form. It kind of like drew attention to that part of the body. I don't want to cover all the heavy black shadows, but I wanted to inform more of the shape than anything. All right, so how about this bicep here? Wet my brush a little bit just to make the paint move. Thinking of doing a rim light. See how that goes. So I was asking if any guys have any plans for the weekend. I could probably use a bigger brush here. I do not. I actually have to yard work, man. That's all I got. But I am grateful. To do it. I really am. So that's what I'll be doing. Sounds like fun. This paper, I wonder, this paper is really absorbing. Color here. See that? Now I added too much water and I removed it. So now I gotta wait. Back to the small brush. So I'll trial and error. I probably should look at the Julie Newmar. I bet, man. Yeah, it's been nuts. It's been over 90 every day. And then we get thunderstorms, so I never get a chance to catch up. Oh, Broadway agrees. A little shadow under the nose. I have to try to remember the original shading. But the picture is kind of the original picture that I used for reference is it's in black and white. Okay. That yellow looks good there though. As my base for her suit. So, oh no, I didn't clean my brush enough, or did I? I don't want it to. I had blue. I don't want it to look green on me. Some of the paint that's on the paper is still a bit wet, kind of. So I can blend in some of the tones to give it a really cool gradient. And soften that stuff up. But my brush is too wet. And although that's probably where I think if you are interested in acrylic, it might be the better choice. Because you can just get heavy from the get-go. I think, if I remember. You gonna do some more chess practice? That's fantastic. I love chess. Trying to soften up these shadows a bit. It's hard to see, but I think once we start popping in the reds, let's start moving. You've been reading a detective comic run called Nocturne? That's kind of cool. You know what I've been wanting to pick up? Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips' criminal series. Alright, I'm going to have to work here to try to extend the suit. It has several volumes, and I just wanted to pick up one or two because I love his work. I love the writing of Ed Brubaker and the artwork of Sean Phillips. I don't know how much of the original black ink I'm going to keep there. If I'm going to be painting over the majority of this. We'll see. Also, I think they say to use white, if you're going to try to get a bright color, to use a white underpainting. But I don't know if I want to do that. All right. I like trying to figure it out. I like suffering a bit. All right. Pretty simple. What would be a nice, maybe she has red on most of it, so I wonder if a light blue would be a beautiful color. As a rim light. I don't think I'm going to do a background. I just want her to be electric. Right? You like the way the red looks, the yellow looks on the reddish underpainting? Yeah, I'm telling you, burnt sienna is my jam. And I don't know why. I've used it lately for most of my paintings. What's my actual? Wait, hold on. What's your favorite actual jam? Like song, or like a? Because I said it's my jam when it came to color. If we talking color, blue is my favorite. Bar none. Bar none. All right. So, boom, 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 boom. No jam jam. Like like grape or jelly. Grape or jelly. Apricot preserve. Music. I don't know, right? Do we have just one? I have no idea why that corrected as hours. Song. Okay. So maybe we should do the Colbert questionnaire. I'm gonna give her eyes blue because I want them to glow. Not music. Wait, what? So not music. Jam. Like to put on toast? I don't know if I have any. I'm a grape jelly type of dude. I'm grown up now, man, so I do olive oil with seasoned olive oil on toast. Okay. All right, here we get into the gritty. If I was to answer that question in the Colbert questionnaire, we're gonna stay with this one. I'm gonna try to find a medium before I answer. There's so many songs, right? Because it all depends. And there's so many genres. I love salsa music. It's what I grew up with. But in the mid 90s, man, your boy was listening to some gangster boogie. Some West Coast gangster rap is my dream. But if I had to choose one to listen to, right? The Colbert questionnaire says if you have one song, you was in a desert island, you only have one song. I'm gonna be mixing red to blue for the shadow. It would be Nat King Cole's. I think it's Sentimental Reasons or I Love You for Sentimental Reasons. I can't remember the full title, but I think it's that. And not so much jam, but like I said, some seasoned olive oil. That's what I had this morning. I think I'm going to have to be working in layers here because it's really warm in here and it's absorbing all of the paints here. Love Shack, brown. Come on, really? All right, end of the world, right? It's the end of the world. It's post-apocalyptic. You've been traveling. You have a radio, and battery, and a tape that has a tape deck. And during your scavenging, you find a tape. A single. You guys remember tape singles? It was only one song with the instrumental on the B-side. You find that. What's the song on it that you hope? That's the one you go, thank you, God. What is it? The truth shall be revealed. Hey, also a quick little painting tip for reds. If you want your red to pop, add a little orange first, and then add the red around it. It'll look like that red is glowing. So old rap is the straight out, heck yeah, straight out of Compton, Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, Snoop. I still got the Chronic on CD. But if it was the last thing ever, I don't know if that's what I want to be jamming to on that tape deck, even though I would be bumping to it. Some Bee Gees? Ooh, something orchestral? A soundtrack, perhaps? Something old? Some Beethoven, some Chopin? I just recently, when I was doing, I did a reel for this drawing, and I used Gothic waltz, and I was like, oh, I think that's my jam now. I think that's my music. I don't think that's entirely true, but I don't listen to enough classical music to be in here to try to tell people what is the best though. But I can dig an instrumental. I had a song called Power of Will. Did I? On my shorts. So whenever I do my reels or my shorts, that type of stuff, I tend to try to pick instrumental music or like theme music or something like that. So I won't have to worry about word association if people get an idea. So a lot of video game or just Viking. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of this blue. I gotta remind myself to wash my brushes. The thing about gouache, right? It'll look like it's dry. It'll feel like your brush is dry. But it'll be just filled with color. All right. This won't be my pure black, but it's or pure shadow. What's up, Shadowhawk? How you doing, man? I don't get a chance. I watch with Omer, and I don't get a chance to comment all the time when you guys are on. But how are you, bro? Oh yeah, Jessica Drew's the jam, yo. I love the way, I have a feeling they don't know what to do completely with her character because they constantly are changing her. She's a spy, she's a Skrull, she's a super spy, she's like a Black Widow. But she's so underused, even with all of that nonsense, she's underused. The only Spider Woman. Do you recall, Shadow, the name of the second Spider Woman in the black suit with the white spider? I know they were trying to cash in a ton with that black suit Spider-Man. I never dug it. But I never knew enough to realize it was a different person either. If it is a different person, period. To be careful. This brush is wet. changing camera angles on the fly. You guys know how it is. My social media directors, I hear ya, I hear ya. We have to do it all. But this phone sucks. All right, so have some highlight in the center here. I felt like I was being tight, so I'm trying to loosen up a bit. My watchers tell me to stand up, so let's stand up. But now that I'm standing up, I'm blocking my light. Oh, you can't win. And breathe. D. Graves art goes way wow. Oh, wow woo. I think he went in the opposite direction of those syllables, but I appreciate that. I'll take a wow woo on a Friday. What? What's really cool sometimes about these paintings is that you still get to see some of the underdrawing, and it'll allow you, if you follow those, to add some really cool dynamic shading and shadows and highlights. I'm gonna see if I can follow those. D. Graves Art says, is this acrylic? No, sir, or ma'am, but no. It is gouache. You talking about my woo D. Graves? But no, it's gouache, but yeah, you know what, D-Dubs? I'm about to drink some water right now. So I don't know if you can tell. You can see kind of like how subtle that vermilion, that orange, gives it a really cool dynamic look. Now that we're settling in, we're just having a good old time. If I would have just hit record. I'm getting some pretty bad shadow. Nope, this is not acrylic gouache or anything like that. This is regular Winsor Newton gouache. Diggrave says, I'm glad I get to catch you live. I usually watch your replays and play while drawing. Man, I appreciate that. I'm glad you caught it. Caught my live. I'm sure our time zones are different. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. I try to be a bit consistent with my live streams, even if they might be off an hour or so. Sure, I can get a... That's the whole table there. And all I'm using is a pure vermilion, no mix, no nothing. And you can already tell I don't have to keep mixing or adding water, which keeps the color as pure as it possibly can, and then I can mix it with any other paints that I've already added. The best thing about using an acrylic underpainting, I don't pull up any of that burnt sienna, so I don't get any muddy brown on my colors. Can you use gouache as an underpainting? Absolutely, I've done it before. I think that if you're going to maintain that color throughout, but it'll work, maintains the temperature. So, D Graves asks, did I use raw umber for your first wash? No, I used... This has been my dream. I'm gonna have to close the blinds behind me so we can get some light. Give me a second, guys. I'll do that right now. Hold on. Give me one cool second, and I'm gonna close my blinds. What up? Okay. You still get some shadow, but it's not too bad. Right? It's easier to see you paint. Oh, okay. I could actually zoom in a bit more. This is just the whole thing here, if you want to do that. And you can now you can start seeing some of that color variation. But yes, so I used burnt sienna. I have another color. This one here. Raw sienna and burnt sienna. But I've been using this one more. I just love the way the color is. I love the way it changes the temperature of the canvas, changes the mood of the canvas. While ultimately it doesn't affect. Like, this is a really, really cool, cold almost, because it's so much blue. But there's a warmth to his skin tone. There's a warmth because of the light in the background. All of that was using the same technique. It's a bit warmer. So even because it changes the temperature, you can play a lot with these complementary colors, giving your palette, man, a bit more oomph-age, in my opinion. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. So, none of this is necessary. Yeah, but yeah, is it necessary? No. I enjoy doing it though. I kind of enjoy seeing the the figure begin to emerge from that singular background, color. Gunplay, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for hanging out and coming through. As always, man, you're aces, brother. I appreciate you. So this, see how dark that is? This is going to be kind of cool to do the same. I'm curious if I can paint this as soft as I'm imagining. Oomph-age is absolutely a technical term, D-Dub. Alright, what are we doing here? Adding vermilion. Do you guys want to see the reference image that I used for the figure? Give me a second, I'll find it again. I should be able to find it again. Let me see. It was here. It was here. It's Julie Newmar. Is she dancing? She's so beautiful. I think she's in a swimsuit. I hope it's her. That'd be embarrassing. Let's see. I can't remember what phrasing or search word I used. I do know that it is her. Maybe I can do a reverse search and find it. Because I don't think I got nothing. Was she dancing? I don't remember why I grabbed it. I loved it, the way the figure was. I'm gonna have to do more images or use Julie as a reference more often. She was a beautiful actress, model. If she wasn't, she should have been. Alright, sorry I couldn't find it. But when I do, I'll make sure to share it again. Because I can't find it under Julie Newmar. But that is her. one last one. Much more interesting and different than a normal pose. Yeah, I think she was dancing. And it's several frames of her in the outfit that she was wearing in different poses. Now I'm going through all of these images, and I just love that era of actresses. They gave great face. You know what I'm saying? Julie Newmar and Margaret. And Margaret used to get her groove on. You got to see the images of her. There's some great memes of her just getting funky with it. Yeah. I feel terrible that I can't find it, and I feel terrible that I didn't save it. And of course, we can't say anything sideways about Marilyn Monroe or the great Betty Page. You know what? I'm going to end up finding it when I'm not even looking for it. But when I do, I will save it. I will share it. Because I think it's a great pose. It's a great set of photos. But I feel bad that I don't think her name is attached to those images. But it's her face. You can tell that it's her. So, I don't think it's as Catwoman. It'd be hilarious if it was. She was great as Catwoman too. Outfits. Eartha killed it. But to me it was always Julie Newmar. It was the black leather. She reminded me when she became the Baroness, I think in the movie, or the Countess. She had a little bit of the Baroness in her, which maybe probably why I got a cartoon crush of the Baroness. You guys are learning a little bit too much about me. Oh, there it is. There it is. I'm getting there. Alright, so I found a pose, but then you can actually get a glimpse of the outfit. And you can probably understand why it's so close. Alright, I'm gonna save this picture. I'm gonna show it. It's not the exact pose that I used, but you'll understand. Julie, I think it's posing. I'll do that. Did you find it, D-Dubs? Good luck me actually finding it. All right, this isn't the exact pose, but this is the photo shoot that is based on. And you can see the outfit very, I don't know why it mind wigged me into, you're the man. That's exactly it. Beautiful. Did you do a reverse image? It's warm in my office. Good gravy. What a detour. Thank you guys for thank you guys for hanging with me while I go around the roundabout, or if you're in New England, the rotary. There you go. That was the inspiration. I didn't get the leg right. Oh, ready for the nitpicking. I didn't get the leg right. The leg pose, and it's such a dynamic pose. Gravy with jam, heck yeah. D-Dubs, you're the best. Thank you for finding that again. Like I said, I don't try to gatekeep or anything like that. If I can remember it and do it and find it, I'm gonna share it. But yeah. But you see the suit is very similar. It almost has the same articulated design there. I'm trying to use my mouse to point at it. I gave it a bit more accentuation. You got to break it down. Remember what we was talking about, breaking down the form. You can't look at it that way. I think the way I did it was I followed the line from her head. That's not gonna work. The angle of her head here. The angle of the top of the body. And then that back leg. I try to find the back leg, because that's where the balance is. And it's not what's the expression? Contraposto, which is mean counter posture, like not straight, like the T square. Contrapostro is what I like to do is I find me an angle of the shoulders and I do the opposite for the hips, and I put in a curve for the line, the center line. So this would be the balance of the hip, the rib cage, and then this leg could either go out, sneak in. I usually end up having it going out. One, because I look at a lot of other fashion mags, and that's how they end up posing. You guys can't see that, can you? And then put the head here. Now all of those weird lines, shoulders that way, hips this way, actually give more of a visual rhythm. That's usually my go-to. So, but yeah, that pose is difficult, and I must have looked at it and went, how the heck? Because she's actually leaning forward, and I didn't get the full extreme of the head. Sometimes we burden ourselves with likeness, and you burden yourselves with, oh, it needs to be perfect. I just freaking criticized myself when I looked at the picture again after so long. But that's not why I drew. I drew it because it was such a beautiful and dynamic pose. You know? And I saw the outfit, made me think, oh man, that looks kind of like Spider-Woman's suit. We're always so, and it's true, for a lot of artists and a lot of fans of art, is stuck with the allure of the likeness of something. And we sometimes kind of like miss the the expression of the pose or the life of it, the vibe of it. I talk about vibe a lot when it comes to drawing. Is there a market and a beauty of doing exact replica of an art? Yeah, actually, absolutely. It's a measure of your craft. It's not something that I want to do. I just want it to look right, and I want to instill like I said, an attitude, a vibe to it. And without knowing the context of what she's jamming to, you can create your own story in your artwork. So when we start doing our own portrait practices during workshops and stuff like that, if you guys have been hanging and banging with me, we're not going to worry about likeness. We'll use it as a tool to get it on paper, but I don't want us to worry about the likeness of it. That's not going to be the goal. You feel me? I think I can sit down now. I love that you didn't simply draw her. You took the pose and drew Spider-Woman. Yes, okay. And then, and you immediately have a perfectly drawn figure. I gotta remind myself, you have a few years more drawing experience than I do. Oh, you're talking about when I did these? And there's something that I'll share with you as well. If you guys want me to, I can break down the process a bit more, how I would look at something like that and make it make sense to me. Absolutely. And then Artfully says, I think most artists respect that you and we do it with our own pizzazz. Absolutely. And what's really cool, outside of everything that we're even talking about, how artistic, how much of an artist is Julie for doing that pose in the first place? What is she thinking? Right? Is it an expressive dance? Is she being alluring? Is she being... like, what's happening there? What is... I want to know. My cat wants to know. Inquiring minds need to know. You know what I'm saying? Without knowing the context, of course. If I was a goober and started doing research of what it was, but that might influence me too much and make me change what I'm trying to fulfill. Discovering a story, probably the thing that I enjoy the most when drawing. Absolutely, D-Dub. That's one thing. Making it up, figuring it out. What's really cool that I enjoy doing is doing that. Discovering a story, creating your own, and not sharing that story just yet. Just letting the viewer have an emotion to it, if any. Right? Because that's, as an artist, that's all we want, to instill an emotion. The cat comment. Oh, yeah, she agrees. Now the challenge here is not to keep looking at that image now to try to make it blend, because I don't want it to. Not anymore. I think it served its purpose. But I'm going to keep it up there just because she's the queen. Yeah, and I love to do that. I love to, I also love to kind of flip on his head what people think of the character. Right? Somebody will see this Spider-Woman and go, they have an like, what the hell? What is she doing? What the dog doing? Me, when I was looking at it, I wanted to keep an air of mystery, keep an air of no lore. There's a weird sexiness to it. There's a weird kind of like, what is happening? She is a killer, right? Or not a killer, but she is a spy. She's a little bit of everything in the comics right now. She's an Avenger every once in a while. A powerful mutant. I'm trying not to smooth out too much right now. I want to have some lumpiness, if that makes sense. So, Artful says, what's cool about art and the story of the piece is that each of us will get something different out of it. Yeah, absolutely. And we hope so, right? I think what upsets me, or what I used to upset me, or maybe still does, is the dismissiveness of certain art forms, comic book art being one of them. Not by the awesome people in this room, but in general and in history. And then when you start, when I started searching and researching and studying older artists from in the medium, you go, those dudes were artists. They were amazing storytellers. Stuff is getting dark. I need to move away. I'm gonna add some specular highlights. Something I learned while watching Portrait Artist of the Year again. Is not adding the highlights too soon. Save it for the end. And I have a habit of putting in that stuff really early because I want a win. I want something to look really good to keep enticing me to keep going. Silly way to think sometimes, I knew. So it's close to being done here. I gotta do her cowl here. And I can't see. Let's put some life into the yellow there. This is all kind of like blending in one giant orange piece. It looks different on screen than it does in front of me. There's a bit more variety of color in front of me. We'll see. So I'm just adding a little bit of pure yellow onto the palette, but that's it. That's all I've used. Some red. Wait, let me make sure I tell you what it is. Yeah. Primary red, vermilion, mid yellow is really what's been my mixes to get that the tonal range on the suit. I'm gonna start adding yellow. I've been using primary blue and and ultramarine blue to create purples to create my shadows. I'm trying to avoid pure black. Man, a hip. Anyway, I'm not gonna judge it anymore. I'm looking at it differently, so I'll sit here and start trashing it. Yellow is extremely opaque, so this is going to be interesting. Let's see how we do this. So I'm going to try to, I don't want it to blend too much, and the way you do that is if you don't put too much pressure on the brush and on the canvas. Just kind of let it sit on top and let it do its thing naturally. It's still going to blend a bit underneath. But we're going to get a nice little glow here. You work for the school system? Well, thank you. I have a ton of teachers in my family. I don't know if that's what you mean as working in the school system, but even still, you're taking care of our kids. So thank you. And I know here in Florida, I think school just started. So, but thank you. You never have to apologize to me about missing a stream or anything like that. I appreciate all the time you guys spend with me. Every little bit to me goes a long way. But thank you. Yeah, there's gonna be more to come too. So, if you're watching an old replay or something like that, leave a comment. Let me know what's something that you liked in there. Something you want me to expand on. We'll make it happen. Which you do. I remember you asking about the art gloves, which I don't know if I if I answered that. Oh, this phone is terrible. Ah, that's what's up. You're a high school nurse for art and tech STEM school. Fantastic. I almost feel like we should be greeting people that work with our kids almost like thank you for your service, like if they're military, honestly. And in my heart, that's what I feel like saying. No disrespect to military people, but you guys are. Come on, man. I applaud you. My heart applauds you. So thank you. Oh, high school kids? Oh my goodness. Get this lady a drink. I kid. All right. I don't want smoothness. I want texture. So also leave shadow. Even though there's a dark line here, like in my arm, leave a bit. Play with it. Give it that form. It gets tough at times, but it's rewarding for the most part. I used to do this is not the same, but I used to do a like after school program. I used to take care of the kids in an after school program, and I had no experience or anything except for drawing, so I would get their attention that way. And they wouldn't. None of them ever called me by my name. They would call me Mr. Artist, which I'll take that any day of the week. They were a lot younger than high school, though. I think they might have been in elementary. Seemed very young, if I remember. Safety? Yeah. I know what you mean. There was that tragedy in Thailand a couple of days ago. It's a sad state that we can't make our kids feel safe. So much so that they have to do something like that. And hurt their peers or hate them enough or be afraid of them enough. So all right, I'm not going to overblend that. I'm digging it. I like the variety and shade there. It looks very realistic. I'll take it. I like the folds. You got to add folds, people. Folds are real. But can you see how dull that yellow gets? Wow, wow, woo, Saboteur. What's up, bud? This dude works, man. Constantly working, bro. Here on your craft and for the man. What's up, bud? Happy Friday, man, if I haven't said so. I'm going to need a smaller brush. I might keep that in that shadow. I'm trying to avoid looking at the reference now more and more, just because it's so different. And what's this word? The same but different. But I keep looking over just to try to get a vibe of the body, because it's too late for me to try to switch it, and I'm not gonna change. The only artistic changes was here in the outfit, because I think some artists keep that yellow all the way across. You want to do a bootleg of Spider-Woman? Isn't she great, Sabo? You got a story already? My brush had too much water. Did you see that? How it just... Now I gotta wait. That costume from the 70s is the best one. This is one of the better designed outfits. And it's super unique. Doesn't make her look anything like Spider-Man, except for maybe the white eyes. But absolutely unique. Are you guys getting any glare? Like, the glare is killing me. That's a little better. I hope that didn't affect you guys too much. Alright, what are we doing? I missed that red. Maybe if I bring this over. Uh-oh. What happened? My phone dying? This phone is terrible, by the way. I'm using an old phone to try to do... All I'm doing is recording time lapses. Hold on, I can't even tell if there's anything happening here. Give me a second. I'm so sorry. And it's not even charging. I try to use it. I try to use it for a live stream, and it heated up and died in the middle of the live stream, and it got stuck. Crab nuggets. There we go. Sabo, do you remember the other Spider-Woman with the black suit and blonde hair? The one they made... Oh... I think DW and I were the only two that went to go see Madam Web. That was terrible. You know it was terrible, DW. You know it was terrible. Not me either. I have a book with her on it, an old Iron Man. Maybe I should look it up. I mean, the suit looks cool, but meh. Yeah. I don't want to grab it. It's really a sucky. It's a sucky collector. What is that? Amazing X-Men, 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 Spider-Man. I think I have it in another room, and I don't want to go away. Been here for 2. Could I? Did Michael Golden do some Spider-Woman? That's cool. Trying to get some pure yellow here. Had potential, could have been way better. Part of their problem was they didn't solve how you have a threat with someone who can see the future. The last act wasn't strong enough. Oh no. The last act? Oh, DW. You make me laugh. Bruh. All 3 acts were bad. The thing that made me laugh out loud, literally went, ha! I'm not spoiling it. Madam Web, I forget her name, needs to get to the specific hidden rainforest. Flies to Colombia, wherever it was. Found it. Walks right into it. That. Ha! Oh, man. But anyway, they kind of teased everybody with the outfits. The ladies looked great in the suits. For the hot second they were in them. That's it. I should draw Madam Web. Give her some sweet blue blockers like the ones they gave her in the movie. Let me take a peek at that. Ooh. That's an interesting... I love his signature. All right. Brighten it up, do her color, do her face. What's really cool about this palette is that I'll be able to use all of these colors again for all the other pieces. But for later on today, we're going to be doing this guy. So keep him close. That'll be fun. I think I'm going to redo the wife again. See if I can paint a portrait. JOM Betty Page, close. There is a pose of Betty Page in something like this. But negative. This is Julie Newmar. It is Julie Newmar, right? That'd be embarrassing. I have a feeling I almost want to remove that black line. What do you guys think? Should I remove the outline of her figure and keep it as a highlight? Now let's make it graphic here. Yes, Catwoman. Yeah, my dude. She looked like she emerged from a the primordial ooze. JOM says, I first saw her in the Batman 60s. Yes. She was the Catwoman. I gotta come back and add that shadow because I don't know why. Oh yeah, I had too much water. Julie was great, and the actress that played Barbara Gordon. See how soft that brush is? I need to get a hard brush, man. To hold a snap. So, if anybody want to help me, you should do Catwoman Julie. I've been wanting to. When I was trying to go through and find the reference for this piece, JOM, I fell into a quick little rabbit hole of some beautiful pictures of Julie Newmar as Catwoman. I did do Gordon and Bats together. This could be too thick. The only thing I didn't do, and I couldn't really do right, was the eyes. So I'm probably going to ruin it. So eyes go up. One of your first loves from TV, JOM? Yeah, I was just talking about that. Her, when she plays the Russian countess, right? In the movie. And she's trying to, she's trying to woo Bruce Wayne. Oh yeah, we're watching Nickelodeon. Like, what's happening to me? What's happening? Am I a cat guy now? I tried. I started to watch that 70s version, 70s, 60s version of Batman from the beginning. I think I made it into season 2. But I did a Frank Gorshin Riddler based on for that first episode. One of my first portraits in gouache. I was trying to do realistic. I would show you, but I just want to keep plugging away here. Okay, so what do we need? We need a bit of specular highlights on the suit. Some bright white yellow. I need to add some skin tone to her. But we are cooking with gas, man. I'm looking good. I might have to go back in some black ink. I don't want to use... You don't want to use white and red to make highlights on red. Just letting you know. You don't want to do that. You almost want to avoid it. I'm trying to see what other great artists would use. That's right! Frank was in Meteor Man. Holy smokes. What a blast. Oh, the way Lionel Francis would do... I don't want to do that either. Alright. That's not helping. That's too dark. I'm just trying to go through Pinterest real quick. With a Spider Woman search. Just to see what kind of... Oh, they just basically used what I've been using. Alright. We're just going to use some oranges for specular highlights. Unaki. We're going to do it sparingly. Unaki. Some here. Some here. Very little in the face. Keep it sexy. Freaky Friday. No, we respectfully. All right, here we go. All I'm using is mid yellow to do the specular highlights, and that seems too much. I might change that. I don't want to highlights everywhere. Just kind of like where it makes sense, but nothing makes sense, right? Emphasize the muscles. I'm going to remove these here. While still giving her muscle tone. I don't know what you guys think. All right. Frank and Meteor Man, it's a trip to see the actors in other roles. Like, yeah, Burgess Meredith, that's in Grumpy Old Man, was freaking great. Pervy old dude, he was hilarious. And Penguin, by the way. Bruce Lee was in Batman. Yes, he was Kato in the Green Hornet. I'm going to solidify these shadows. Thank you, bud. I gotta remove that black line somehow. I think that works. She has wings here. She has a weird, like webbing. And I don't know how I'm gonna pull that off. 'Cause some of them looks like an accordion. But, I think I'm just gonna keep it that way. A little gray, a dark bluish gray color. Look at that. I haven't even used my black. That's a beautiful thing. All right. So I'm just using some white, black, and some blue. And then I'm going to go over it to ghost it for webbing. While it's still wet. Excuse me, just adding some white. And a touch of the death. Holy crap. Don't look into the light. Wipe that off, and then I'm going to blend it. Pure white here. I really don't want to get in too much in detail with this webbing. I just need enough. Looks like something. It kind of gets lost there, and there's a weird tangent now here. Maybe. Now what? Lay and Decker would have had a beautiful white look. I don't know how I'm going to do her face. I haven't done her face yet. But I am going to give her some red lips. Probably not even going to notice those. Yes, this is Spider-Woman. See if I can mix. I'm just going to use burnt sienna and white as my base. Add a little bit of red. And white. I just want to create a simple skin tone here. Nothing too fancy. See? Looks very pinkish. But it's burnt sienna, white, and some red. And I'm just going to let it blend in with the blue up there. It'll look pale on the spots that's looking up into the sky. That's it. Funny how we do the things here that rarely are gonna get noticed. I'm about done here. I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. As always, you guys make it worth it. I'm going to let the music play me out. I'm going to finish tidying up a little bit of things, but we're pretty much done. I will be back around 4 o'clock today in about 3 hours. So I can go get some food. And, do the thing. Anyway, this is Art to the Round Table. My name is Mello. That is Spider-Woman. This is painted in gouache. I'll see you in a few hours. God bless you. I love you. Mean it. And until next time, I will draw you later. Bye.